Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Scoreboard Keepers. And I couldn't wait to do this show. I'll see you right back in 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the Scoreboard Keepers. You're around here, we don't keep receipts. We keep the score. So if you want to get on the board, make your point. If it makes sense, we'll add it to the board. If it don't, we won't. Scoreboard Keepers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Scoreboard Keepers. I thank you for joining me tonight. I am your host, the Ref, and I could not wait to do this show right here. I could not wait to do this show. I'm keeping my score tonight. I'm keeping track of the points that I make tonight. Y'all see who's on the board right now? Does he look familiar? A Dallas Cowboy. Yes, we have a Dallas Cowboy on the board tonight. If I ain't mistaken, he's the first Cowboy to make the board. He's the first Cowboy to make the board on Scoreboard Keepers, if I ain't mistaken. This shouldn't take us long, so I'm going to get this clock rolling. I'm going to start off by reading you a definition, CeeDee Lamb. For those of you that don't know, this is Mr. CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to start off by reading you this definition, and then you guys may understand where we're going with this tonight. Us receivers, when I say us, that means that I know a little bit about the position. Yes. So I think I'm qualified to talk about it. I think I'm qualified to speak on it because I'm going to anyway. But as a receiver, there's a tag that came along with the wide receiver position. A little tag, a little name tag, a title, right? That some, not all, but some receivers were clarified as this definition: prima donna. A prima donna is a very temperamental person with an inflated view of their own talent or importance. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? I'm going to read it to you one more time. A prima donna. We hear about it all the time, but nobody really reads the definition. A temperamental person with an inflated view of their own talent or importance. Now, some of us, that may resonate with some of us, and some of us it may not. Okay? And for that definition, I'm giving myself a point. I have no opposition tonight. There's nobody challenging me tonight. And you're more than welcome to if you want to come up on the show, because all we're going to do around here is we're going to keep the score. We don't keep receipts around here. What I see going on in Dallas, it reminds me of a few things. And it's really ridiculous because it's history repeating itself. And the results are always the same. The results are always the same. No matter what is going on, the results are always the same. And I'm watching CeeDee Lamb, who's coming across to me as a prima donna. If it was a receiver in the league right now that I can put that on, it would be him. He would come to my mind before most receivers in the league right now, even Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is not a prima donna. Justin Jefferson is putting up numbers. And he lets his numbers speak for themselves. Mr. CeeDee Lamb here I think is a little different than Justin Jefferson. The reason being is because no matter what has been going on in Minnesota, I've never seen Justin Jefferson screaming on his quarterback like I see going on in Dallas, which is totally unacceptable, man. Totally unacceptable. The last person that needs to be in the quarterback's ear is the receiver, because that's the man that's feeding you the ball. He has other options on there. He's not obligated to throw you the ball solely. He's obligated to win the game, to lead his team to victory. He's not obligated to make you the best receiver in the league or have the best stats in the league as a receiver. He's not obligated to do that. You would think that you would want to be on your best behavior with the quarterback of your team. Why? Because no matter what your personal relationships are, if your quarterback is fractured, the whole team is fractured. So he's almost like the kicker that you don't want to talk to before that game-winning field goal. You should have the same type of respect for your quarterback. Why would you be screaming on your quarterback on national television like nobody's watching? You see, I know people are watching now, but you don't care. You'd rather disrespect that man on national television, and you think that you're more important than he is just because you just got paid. You think that you're more important than him. I see it in you. I see it in you. You think you're more important than that man. And let me tell you something. Nobody, no matter what we think about the position, we got to know that between the center and the quarterback in that transaction, they're touching the ball more than anybody on the field. Every play, those two are touching the ball. If it's not the center, if it's not the quarterback, then it's the running back, then it's the receiver. Okay? A running back can have anywhere up to 20 carries. You don't see a lot of receivers getting 20 targets. When's the last time you seen a wide receiver getting 20 targets? When's the last time you seen a receiver getting 20 receptions? Bro, you need to knock it off, because right now, this don't even look good from the outside. This don't look from the outside looking in, it don't look good. And let me tell you something, coming from somebody that played the position. You know that you shouldn't be doing that to that quarterback. You know, deep down inside, you know. What you trying to do? You trying to break his spirit? You trying to break his spirit? Is there something that he's doing wrong that he can't fix in practice? I wonder if you talk to him like that in practice. No. Everybody's frustrated. You're not the only one frustrated. See, this is when that prima donna thing comes in. When you think it's all about you, you're more frustrated than everybody else. I've never seen you talking to the kicker like that. I've never seen you talking to the kicker like that. I've never seen you talking to the coach like that. He's not calling all good plays. He's not calling the best plays in the world. I never seen you talk to the coach like that. I never seen you talk to Jerry Jones like that. Maybe you did behind scenes. I never seen you do it like that in the open. I never seen you going over there and talking to the defense that can't stop nobody like that. Did you go talk to them defensive linemen the other day while Derrick Henry was running all over them? I didn't see you doing that. I didn't see you doing that. I didn't see you go up to Michael Parsons and be like, stop somebody. I didn't see you doing it. But yet, You got the nerve to be yelling after Dak Prescott like that. See, if I didn't know about the receiver position, I would know. I wouldn't be saying anything. But I know that it's of the utmost importance that we keep our quarterback safe and sound. We want to make sure that he's still with us. We want to make sure that he's still with us. We want to make sure that he's doing everything that he can to maintain himself during the course of the game. We want to make sure he's staying focused. We want to make sure he's staying absolutely focused. Absolutely focused. He has to be absolutely dialed in if we're trying to win these games that we're trying to win. So I don't know what you were trying to do, man. I don't know. I don't know what you were trying to do when you were doing that, but you had to know that everybody was watching. Everybody was watching. But I'm going to tell you something, man. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to talk right to you. You need to humble yourself down, man. Let your game speak for itself. Let your game speak for itself. Nobody needs to see you talking after your quarterback like that. We all see that you can yell. We all see that you can complain. We all see that. We all see that. We all see that now. So now what? What's next? What's now? What's next? What's next? Because the last time I checked, right? The last time I checked, we looked up your stats from that game, okay? CeeDee Lamb had 4 catches on 7 targets for 67 yards and also losing a fumble in a 28-25 loss to the Ravens. Bro, 67 yards. You've been held under 70 yards every game this season. You haven't hit 100 yards yet. You haven't hit 100 yards yet. So I mean, I'm saying there's nothing. You don't need to be in the quarterback's ear. Not with them kind of numbers. You do not need to be in the quarterback's ear with those kind of numbers and turning the ball over. Everybody, it's enough fault to go around for everybody. But when you start putting your quarterback on blast to where we start seeing it all around the world, all around the country, bro, you out of pocket. And I mean completely out of pocket. It's wrong. It's nothing. You get nothing out of that. And how do I know that? So you think I came here to be talking about this because I didn't have the facts? Wrong. I'm just not here to be talking. I see what's going on. I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, I ain't kidding you. I thought that personally, that if you was talking to if I was that quarterback, you was talking to me like that, me and you gonna have a talk. We're gonna have whatever gonna happen. It's whatever at that point. Because you out of pocket. And you seem like you got picks. You seem like you got picks because you seem like you're picking him to do this to. Because in any other circumstances, ownership and head coaches are not having that without getting you out of there. And how do I know that? Well, because number one, this guy right here, Peyton Manning, through the Reggie Wayne, through the Marvin Harrison, through to a whole host of receivers. Never once did I see a receiver screaming at this man and acting crazy, right? Screaming at this guy. because he was going right to his pad to see if he made a mistake. He was going to his pad to see what happened, and he was going to try to fix it. He's going to try to fix the situation, right? But you, on the other hand, you're screaming behind the guy that's trying to win the game. You're screaming behind the guy that's trying to win the game, man. You can't do that. You can't, it makes no sense. And you looking crazy after the fact from doing it. It makes no sense, man. This guy Peyton Manning, he didn't get to where he got in his career by having receivers running behind him and screaming on him. When I'm pretty sure he's made some mistakes in there where it could have been justified for a receiver screaming on him. But never did I see that in Indianapolis, and never did I see that in Denver. Of what you're doing to Dak on national television after both of y'all just signed big deals. Again, yeah, I feel qualified to talk about it because I know the position and I've seen history. Give myself a point, a couple of points, because I'm making them. This guy right here, you would have never done that to. If you would have did what you did to Peyton Manning, they would have got you up out of there. They would have got you up out of there. What's the difference? They're not winning with you. They're not winning with you. So what's the difference? There is no difference. If you were winning games, hey, we need them around, but they're not winning with you. So what's the difference? You're an impact player. You're an impact player. You ain't really changing the game like that. You're not really dominating the game like that. You're not taking over like that. I don't see it. I mean, it may be happening somewhere, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it, man. You can't have picks. You got to respect your quarterback. You got to help him get through whatever it is he's going through. Whatever personal problems you have, it should be discussed in the locker room or at practice. That's where things get fixed at. They don't get fixed on national television because you want everybody to see you. You want to be a prima donna. We just read the definition. That's a prima donna to me. I don't care what nobody else say. That's prima donna behavior. Period. You would never have done that to Peyton Manning. Because he would have been on you. He would have soon gotten you out of there. Somebody would have dealt with you in the locker room, and they would have told you. They may have sent you home for a little while. But you wasn't going to stop the course that he was on. But right now, you feel like you can interfere with Dak's course, right? He just signed a big deal. He's there to stay. So how's he going to be at odds with his number one receiver? How is that going to happen? How can he be at odds with his number one receiver? See, for Peyton Manning, right? See, for Peyton Manning, when guys are not in his ear and guys are not screaming behind him, this is the result right here. These are the results. You're hoisting Lombardis. Yeah, you're hoisting Lombardi trophies. So I'm trying to figure out why you think that you should be in Dak's ear. Why? Why would you want to be in Dak's ear like that? Is it going to equal up to him playing better? Because the quarterback's supposed to be the leader on the field. He's supposed to be getting you to the next level. So are you trying to get the quarterback to the next level from the receiver position? Where's that ever happened at? What part of the game is that? What level of football has that ever happened? Now, granted, there is some situations where there's receivers that made quarterbacks. We know that. We know that. We know that there's some quarterbacks out here that wouldn't be nothing without their receiver. But we ain't saying it publicly. Why would you say it publicly? We're not saying it publicly. If you make Dak better, then that's something you could talk about after your careers are over. You don't say it during the career. You don't say it during your career. You say it afterwards. But like I said, you want to put things on a public display, man. And like I said, all it's going to do is give you backlash because it doesn't look good from your position. It does not look good from your position, and especially with the numbers that you're putting up. You're not lighting up the world, man. So if you're going to come to him and say something, you should be coming correct yourself, man. You ain't put up 100 yards this year. You haven't put up 100 yards this year, man. Not even in the Cleveland win. You didn't have over 70 yards, and I mean that was all offense. That was all offense. And that ball was moving around the field, up and down the field, as a matter of fact. But that was a balanced win. That was a balanced win. But like I said, you would never have done that to this man right here. And I know that for a fact. So you actually have picks. You got favorites, man. You got favorites who you want to talk to like that. But if Peyton Manning would have been your quarterback and you would have been talking to him like that, I bet you anything that they would have benched you. Somebody in that organization would have benched you. Because you ain't above that. I don't care what kind of numbers you putting up. If I was the quarterback and you'd have been talking to me like that, I'm looking for Turpin. I'm looking for Zeke out of the backfield. I'm throwing in my tight ends, man. I don't care what's going on. I'm making just as much money as you are. You're not going to disrespect me like that. I'm the quarterback. I'm deciding where this ball going to go and when it's going to go there at the end of the day, no matter what you say. At the end of the day, I determine where this ball is going to go because I'm making the decisions out there. That's what Peyton Manning did. He steered the ship, and he steered it right to a Lombardi because he didn't have people talking in his ear. Again, all quarterbacks are not great. There are some receivers. Justin Jefferson's one of them. He's going to make Sam Darnold look amazing. But we don't need him to say that to know it. We already know it. Sam Darnold don't make Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is absolutely going to take Sam Darnold to the next level up there in Minnesota. It's going to make him look great. But you need to humble yourself down there in Dallas, man. But I ain't done. See, familiarity breeds contempt. And these two guys right here didn't have that. They didn't have to worry about that kind of thing on their teams. They both shared something that's very unique. They were in total control of their offenses. Even when they made mistakes, they were harder on themselves than you could ever be on them. You think when Dak makes a mistake, he's going back and celebrating? No, he internally could be imploding. And then here you come. He's already imploding. His coach already got to tell him what mistakes he's made. He should be on his way to the pad. And here you come. Telling him what every receiver says. I was open. I'm always open. I'm 7-Eleven. I'm always open. Wawa. They call me Wawa. I'm always open. What? Man, look, I know that talk. I'm Wawa. I'm always open for business, baby. With a man draped all over you, punching the ball out. Man, leave that man alone and go back. You should be over there talking to them other receivers, talking about getting separation, which they was not doing. Not to mention they're watching you. They're watching you talk to the quarterback that's throwing them the ball. Now they want to try the same thing because you over there disrespecting the man. Now they want to disrespect him during the game. Now it ain't no leadership. Who's the leader? Who's the leader if y'all talking to him like that? Who's the leader? Who's the leader on the field? You? Come on, man. Stop it. They look like bully tactics from the couch. From the couch, it looks like bullying tactics. And I'm surprised nobody has stepped up and said something to you yet. A defensive leader. I know they got one down there. But Baltimore was running through that defense like Swiss cheese. And I didn't see you jumping up and saying, yo, stop somebody. I didn't see you doing that. I didn't see you doing that, buddy. I didn't see it. But you want to put Dak on blast. Listen, Dak ain't playing the greatest football right now. Okay, but neither is the rest of the team. Neither is the rest of the team. And they playing them some tough games. You know, trap games. Baltimore was a trap game. Baltimore was a trap game. Baltimore was in a must-win situation. They can't fall too far down in that AFC North division. They went into Dallas and they knew they had to win. It was a must-win for them. It was their first win. You know what I mean? Nobody's making any excuses, but that's the facts. Let's see what else we got. It's a point for me, man. Wow. Well, look at this guy right here. Well, who could this be? Well, that's old Tom. That's old Tom right there. Now, do you think you would have been talking to him like that? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. Do you think you would have been talking to this man and screaming at this man like you were screaming at Dak? Absolutely not. Because you would have got that response right there. You see that look on his face? That look on his face, that's what you would have got in return in front of everybody. He would have probably put you on blast in front of everybody. Because don't nobody want to win on the field more than him. Don't nobody wasn't, and guess what? Wasn't nobody else on that team going to see you talk to Tom like that either. Nobody. Somebody was going to jump up and say, yo, enough's enough, even if it would have been an offensive lineman. But everybody seemed comfortable down there with you doing it. I'm calling one of them offensive linemen to make sure that you don't do that again. I'm calling one of them offensive linemen to make sure you don't do that again. Save it for films. Save it for films. You're not a coach. You're not an offense coordinator. And you're not the quarterback. So like I said, if he has to go down and win the game on the last drive and you've been screaming on him, like, that's so prima donna, man. Because you just put yourself in front of the rest of the team. You just put what's important to you in front of the rest of the team. Everybody else. Now, if you would have had a band behind you screaming on Dak and everybody was screaming on Dak, then then everybody's all unified. Everybody's unified together against Dak. But it's you. I didn't see any. Listen, it's you. And it don't look right, man, from the couch, bro. But once again, you got picks because I'm telling you, you would have never done that to Tom Brady. Nobody would have been having it. Not Robert Kraft, like Jerry Jones, shouldn't be having it down there. And neither would have Bill Belichick. Man, you would have been on the first thing smoking out of there. They don't care nothing about benching a star receiver. They don't care nothing about that. They would have found 2 more to do what you're doing. And what? All they needed was 67 yards? What? All they needed was 67 yards. 4 catches. They could have got 2 receivers to do that. You wouldn't have done it. Because Terrific Tom would have been having it. Gronk wouldn't have been having it. They just wouldn't have been having it. They just wouldn't have been having it, man. And neither should Dak. And if I'm Dak, I'm calling a meeting. I'm shutting that down immediately, ASAP. Ain't nobody else doing that no more. Nobody. I don't care what the circumstances is. Ain't nobody talking to me crazy. Whatever you got to say to me, save it for films or save it for somewhere else. All the crazy talk is done, especially during the game. And that's a point for me. I can tell you right now, bro. See them things on that man's hands? They don't come by receivers talking crazy. I never seen Randy Moss in Tom Brady's ear like that. Of all people, Randy Moss, Hall of Famer Randy Moss. I never seen him doing what you did. He would go over to the sidelines and complain down on the wide receivers bench, but he wasn't walking behind Tom and talking crazy. He wasn't screaming on him. And never on more than one occasion. Because, you seem to be a habitual offender with that. You seem to be a habitual offender with Dak for some reason. And I don't understand it. It's strange. Because that's your quarterback. And as a receiver, you know he's feeding you. That's how you're eating. Because of him. He's feeding you down the field. I want that man in his right mind when he's delivering me the ball. I need it on point. And if he's not doing it on, then we got to talk. I'm not throwing him under the bus on national television in front of everybody, and then I got to come to practice. After doing that, the relationship is going to be fractured, man. The chemistry is going to be fractured. And you're wrong. This man right here, he got the rings on his finger because he was a general on the field. And the receivers, tight end, everybody respected him. Even the linemen, the offensive linemen, who he was taking out to dinner, buying things for. It ends up with them things on his finger like that. He ain't got no more space on his hands. He ain't got no more space on his hands. And not one time do I remember a receiver walking behind him and talking crazy to him. Yet you treating Dak like that. Who's trying to get one. He's trying to get one. And you talking crazy. Neither one of y'all got anything. You talking like you done been to the mountain. You done been to the mountaintop already. Just because you can run a few digs and a few fades and a few streaks. Man, you got so much more to accomplish, man. You got so much more to accomplish to be doing what you doing. It's just crazy. That could be cancerous, man. When you're doing that to your quarterback like that, there just ain't no place in football for that. You got practice and you got films where you can get it off your chest. You can even talk to the coach. Man, you want one of them things on his hands, boy. You got to get it right. You got to get it right. Bro, look at this man. I don't ever remember seeing any receiver, not Wes Welker, none of them receivers, not Randy Moss, not Gronk, not Julian Edelman. I don't ever remember seeing them like screaming on Tom Brady. Not unless they was just getting hyping up one another. It just wasn't going on, the stuff that's going on the sidelines, like a soap opera down there in Dallas, man. Like a soap opera. You want to be seen. Like we wasn't going to see that. Come on. How many times? You know doggone well them cameras is over there on them sidelines. And NFL Films getting everything. You knew everybody was going to see that, and you knew it was going to be headline news the next day. You were throwing your quarterback under the bus. Somebody need to call you out on it. You was throwing your quarterback under the bus, which is what you was doing. You was taking every opportunity to try to do it. And you wrong for that. You wrong for that. If you want your quarterback to get to this type of status, you got to have his back, not his front. Not his front. You kidding me? You want him doing that right there? You got to have his front. You can't be having his front, man. You got to have his, you got to absolutely unequivocally have your quarterback's back, man. In good and in bad. In good and in bad. You got to have his back. You got to back him up, man. And you got to make sure that your quarterback for the foreseeable future is going to be in the right state of mind. The season is early, and here you are screaming on. Where'd you get that from? I don't know where it came from, but I could think of a few places. Because if you want to start talking about history, you know what I mean? One guy was around, Tom. One guy. When he was confused about where he wanted to be and what he wanted to do, you know what they did? They got rid of him. He went down there and got that Super Bowl ring. And when he started getting, he wasn't sure about what he wanted to do, sent him right up out of there. The next thing you know, he's taking off his jersey, waving at the fans and running in the locker room. Never to be seen on a football field again. Because if it was anybody that would have been capable of demanding the ball from Tom Brady, it would have been him right here. But no matter who he was, Tom Brady was feeding everybody on the field. He was feeding everybody. It was nice to have Antonio Brown, but he wasn't going to make him just the dominant receiver. Tom Brady was about feeding everybody. He was about feeding everybody, and that ball was going to get around that doggone field. It was not going to be all about Antonio Brown like Antonio Brown was in Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger. It wasn't happening. It was not happening. Sorry, Captain. It wasn't happening. That ball was still getting around the field. And like I said, before you know it, that man got that ring and he was gone. Period, point blank. That's what history does, man. It kind of repeats itself. So what you doing ain't the first time somebody done seen something. Antonio Brown was beefing with Ben Roethlisberger like crazy. And guess what? Antonio Brown never got that Super Bowl with Pittsburgh. All them stats and all them numbers. Numbers you ain't nowhere near yet. He never got that Super Bowl in Pittsburgh. He had to go to Tampa Bay to get it. Because history repeats itself, man. You need to chill. You need to chill out. Go do your history. Go do your research. You may have to end up going to another team and trying to get that Super Bowl. And they already locked you up for a few years with this money. You're not getting any younger. All you're going to do is get older. History repeats itself, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Remember T.O. and Donovan McNabb beefing like crazy? T.O. screaming on Donovan, Donovan screaming on T.O. What? Yes, 2 stars. 2 stars. T.O. was telling everybody, get your popcorn ready. Well, we got our popcorn out. T.O. was telling everybody, get your popcorn ready. But he was putting his quarterback on blast publicly. And they was beefing terribly. And guess what? They didn't win the Super Bowl. They went all the way there and lost. They went all the way there and lost. Yes, they did. They went all the way there and lost to the New England Patriots. That's right, to the New England Patriots. They went all the way there and lost. There was all kinds of turmoil going on. They was beefing in the locker room. It was personal to the point where I don't even think they speak to today, which is awful. And that team was so talented. That team was so talented. And they just couldn't get it done because all the personal stuff just spilled over onto the field, man, no matter how you look at it. But guess what? On that team, you had some thumpers. And when I say you had some thumpers, you had some thumpers. You had some generals. Some generals that was coming to their quarterbacks' protection on their behalf. They was coming to their quarterback's protection. They were coming to his aid because they didn't want that nonsense going on. Everybody wanted to win the Super Bowl. And that man stepped up. Yeah. Hugh Douglas. He wanted to put hands and feet on T.O. He wanted to put hands and feet on T.O. He wasn't playing around. He wanted to put hands and feet on T.O. for Donovan McNabb because he wasn't about all that nonsense. He was trying to get a Super Bowl, and he wasn't playing no game. Central State Marauder. Go do your research on that team that don't nobody talk about as much as they should. That team, they had some talent on that team. I don't know what y'all was watching. But I mean, they could have beat a lot of teams in the country that year. Y'all need to go check that out. Do the research. But he wasn't playing around with T.O. They was trying to get loose up in there. We still don't got all the story. I still don't know all the story on that. But I know one thing. It was a scrap trying to really go down. It was a scrap trying to really go down between him and Terrell Owens. So I don't know why they allowing you to do that to their quarterback down there, because you ain't the only one on the team. You ain't the only one that want to win. And you need to stop acting like it. You ain't the only one that want to win. Everybody need to go about their business and just take care of their own jobs. If it's something that needs to be fixed, talk to them. Pull them to the side. Rap to him for a little bit. Pull him to the side. Tell him what needs to be done, man. Tell him this is what I need, this is what I want. You screaming on him. You disrespecting him as a man. That's all I see. And look, I'll be the first one to tell you that Dak's not playing great right now. But I can come back and tell you and push back on that and tell you that even if he ain't, it's early in the season and we need it. If we're gonna win the Super Bowl, we need him playing at a high level. He can't do that if I'm barking on him. He can't do it if I'm barking on him. Somebody need to step up down Dallas. I don't see the leaders. It ain't enough leadership down there. Somebody need to step up. It needs to be a general in the locker room. One general. And I don't see it right now. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it could be Zeke, Micah Parsons. I don't know who. I don't know who right now. It's just a lot of chitter chatter going on, and it's a lot of this one over there and that one over there. They need a general down there that can bring that team together before it's too late. All that money's put out right now, and we got to see this on TV. Nah, knock it off, man. Big Hugh wasn't having it. Hugh Douglas wasn't having it, man. I'm pretty sure he wanted that Super Bowl as bad as anybody. And when he seen that Donovan and T.O. was going through it, I'm just going to assume that he took a side and was like, look, I'm going to put hands and feet on you, monster. If you don't knock it off, something going to happen. I'm going to do something to you. And that's point blank. All I know is that at the end of the day, there was no Super Bowl won, and those players separated. And the coach ended up leaving. And all you can talk about is what if? What if? Because everybody wanted to see it. And if I ain't mistaken, the first time they got together in the first game was a 70-yard touchdown pass from Donovan to T.O. Their first time, the first play was a 70-yard bomb. If I ain't mistaken, that's a point for me for even remembering that. 2 points. 70-yard bomb. If I ain't mistaken, it was from Donovan to T.O. I mean, a launch, rocket launch, boom, rocket launch. But anyway, he wasn't having the quarterback, being drilled. He wasn't having the quarterback being drilled by a receiver when they was trying to accomplish something there. It's just it just wasn't happening. Period. Point blank. Look what we got here. Look what we got here. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. No Super Bowl. They went to the Super Bowl too and lost. Because when A.J. Brown gets frustrated, he has the propensity to do what you did. Scream on his quarterback on the sidelines. Isn't that amazing? Didn't I tell you history repeats itself? Didn't I tell you that? History repeats itself, man. History repeats itself. So I just showed you Donovan McNabb. I told you I wasn't going to talk to you without having proof, right? I was going to come here and show you the proof. You got Donovan McNabb, no Super Bowl. Tom Brady, 6 Super Bowls. Peyton Manning, 2 Super Bowls. Right? Donovan McNabb, T.O., They didn't win anything together. Nothing that anybody can remember. Because the goal was to win the Super Bowl. And they didn't do it. And now you got these two. Another quarterback in a high pressure situation that has been screamed on by his receiver. Why? Why? What is that going to accomplish? Especially during the game, just because you mad. Listen, I can tell you right now, I didn't see T.O. ever scream on Steve Young like that when he was with the 49ers, like he was doing with Donovan. I didn't see it. And I don't think anybody would have been having that out there. But for some reason, when these prima donnas get their picks, they feel as though that they can talk to certain quarterbacks like that, which is absolutely wrong. I don't know what A.J. Brown's beef is with Jalen Hurts, and it really doesn't matter. The point is that they're trying to feed him the ball more than anybody else on the team. So why would you be trying to disrespect this man on national television for us all to see? We don't want to see that. We don't want to see that because everybody that knows the game knows that can be done in the locker room. It don't need to be done on the sidelines. You fix the issues on the sideline. I mean, and you fix the issues in the locker room, halftime. And you can make corrections on the sidelines. But I'm just saying, if you want to talk to that man like that, you should wait till you get in the lockers. Wait till you get into the lockers. I mean, now doing it on national television is just you're just asking for attention, man. You're asking for attention. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? If the two people that got to put points on the board are having a relationship like this right here, you got some problems. You got some problems because this is personal. That's not football. That's personal. Especially if you're a habitual offender. If you're a habitual offender and you keep doing this, and we've seen it on more than one occasion, then that's a problem. That's an absolute problem. And it shouldn't be going down like that. It's a better way to do it. If I was the coach, man, and I saw that, man, you can best believe somebody going to the bench. I don't care. I'll pull a Bill Belichick on you. Somebody is going to the bench or for a whole half. Somebody's doing something, man. I'm not going to sit there and watch you do that to the quarterback and to the leader of this offense. I can't do it. And guess what? You're directly affecting the defense. Because if the quarterback can't move the ball, then the defense is right back on the field. Because you down there in his ear and he can't move the ball anymore. He's all in his head and all in his feelings now because you're trying to talk to him crazy. But if you're going to talk to him like that, man, you got to share the wealth. You got to talk to the kicker like that. You got to talk to the coach like that. You got to talk to your other receivers like that. You can't have picks, bro. You can't do it. Bro, why is your receiver talking to you that close? Why can't he tell me what he want to tell me? Why can't he tell me what he want to tell me, right? And come over here and sit down here and show me. Why he barking on me and not showing me? Show me what you're talking about. Show me. Nah, you want to be up close, violating my space. Fox is here. CBS is here. NBC is here. And you want to be up in my circle, right? In my circumference, telling me you was wah. You was wah. You was open. You've been open all night long. And somehow I didn't see you. Because the only two people on the field is me and you. But I ain't see you. Forget the other 9, right? Forget the other 9. It's just me and you on the field. It's crazy, man. That's prima donna behavior, bro. Prima donna behavior. And guess what? As a receiver, I know you know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. But the receivers, they catch them deep balls. And it's really dynamic. And we gotta have the running backs know they're getting the ball every now and then, and the tight ends don't care because they got to block sometimes. But the receivers, all we doing is we running routes, pretty routes. We block every now and again. But most of the time when that ball go in the air, we get dynamic and we start thinking we prima donnas. We think we more important than everybody else. More important than everybody else. We ain't down there in the trenches. We ain't got to get too dirty. Sometimes, we may get loose. Our uniforms may not even get dirty. We can stay as clean as the quarterback sometimes if it's like that. It's ridiculous, man. And then we got you. Yeah. After all them players, then we got you. Right? You ain't in the Hall of Fame, man. You ain't in the Hall of Fame. You're the best receiver on the Dallas Cowboys. You're not the best receiver in the league. You're the best receiver on the Dallas Cowboys. I don't see Deebo Samuels talking to Brock Purdy like that. I don't see it. I don't see Brandon Ayuk talking to Brock Purdy like that. I don't see it. I don't see anybody talking to Justin Herbert like that. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see the only places you see receivers barking on quarterbacks right now is Dallas. Now in Cincinnati, there's a familiarity there. And familiarity breeds contempt. So Jamar Chase may say something to Joe Burrows every now and then. He may say something to him. You know what I mean? It's possible that he may say something to him. It's possible. But they know each other. So that may not even be personal. It could be just like as a friend thing. But what I see you doing, that don't seem friendly, man. That don't seem friendly at all, bro. And it's not the first time, man. And then if everybody's watching you, man, you can have others chipping in, which ain't right, bro. It's not right. Look at this, man. Look at this. What is that? What is that? It looked like points to me. It looked like points that ain't going to be scored if y'all are doing that right there. That's what that looked like to me. It looked like points that ain't going to be scored because of what's going on right there. Y'all all up in each other's mug and you saying something behind his back and all that. That don't look like football. It looked personal. That's what it looked personal, man. It don't look like football. That's not a football look. That's not what that looks like, man. The coach could be doing that. Now, I mean, I'm just saying, you are close enough, man, for that man to personally swing on you. You know you're invading his space, man. And you don't look like you're saying nothing nice. You ain't being nice. You're not being nice. You are not being nice. It's just that simple. And I just think that, from looking at that, it just looks like there needs to be some type of intervention from a general. That's what it looks like. A general on the team needs to intervene in these things. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like. I just think that, you know, for the kids that's watching the game, right? For the kids, what kind of message is this sending? What kind of message is this sending right here? You tell me. I don't think that should be happening. I don't think that should be happening, man. Because it's telling the kids out here, like, look, man, this is what you can do to your quarterback if he ain't doing right. It just don't look right, man. Nothing about it looks right. Whatever you saying to him here, you could have did it over a cup of Gatorade back in the locker room, man. But you can, it's cameras everywhere. And I know you see them, but you just didn't care because you knew what you were doing. Period, point blank. But guess what? You see this guy right here? This guy right here, he didn't have them problems. Ricky Sanders, Gary Clark, and Art Monk. I've never seen them scream on this dude. That's Doug Williams, people, if y'all don't know. That's Doug Williams right there. I never seen Gary Clark or Ricky Sanders, especially I never seen Art Monk either. I never seen them scream in Doug Williams' face like CeeDee Lamb did the other night, like you did. I didn't see it. I don't even think Doug Williams would be having it anyway, you know, coming out of Grambling. I don't think he would have been having it anyway coming out of that HBCU. You know what I mean? I don't think he would have been having it. You know, they was tough coming out of Grambling back then. So I don't think he would have been having it. He wasn't going to have you barking on him like that. Just run your route. I'll get you the ball and be quiet. Period. But see, we got all the cameras and stuff and all the TVs and all that now. So people know, you know, they know they're going to get views for that. You know what I'm saying? But again, you're wrong. And guess what? The difference between Donovan McNabb, the difference between Jalen Hurts, and the difference between Dak Prescott is that they've all had receivers barking in their ears. And guess what? They all don't have a Lombardi trophy. But guess what? This guy right here, hey, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Them big cameras right there, right? Yo, you know they just ain't at regular games. You see that big camera right there, man. That dude like he got an M80. I don't know what that is. It look like that thing belong on a tank. That thing look like it belong on a tank right there, as big as that camera is. See, this dude had respect from his receivers. They respected him. And guess what? He was, if anybody was prone to make mistakes, it was him. Because at that time, he wasn't the favorite. Nobody thought that he could do it. Nobody thought that he could do it. And at that point in time, nobody that looked like him had. Nobody that looked like him had. He's the first black player to win the Super Bowl at the quarterback position. He had the respect of his receivers. And then here you come, CeeDee Lamb. You got Dak Prescott trying to do some things, right? That's unusual. It's not about that, but the thing that he's trying to accomplish is unusual. It is unusual. But historically, it wasn't something that was normal. But in order for if Doug Williams never had the respect of his receivers, he would have never been able to do what he did. So just imagine if Gary Clark was screaming on Doug Williams. Just imagine that. But like I said, I don't believe he would have had it. Because ultimately, it led to that right there. It led to that right there. Yeah. That's what it led to, CD. Right there. Doug hoisting that Lombardi because he had the respect of his doggone receivers. He had the respect of his receivers. He didn't have to worry about somebody talking behind him. He didn't have to worry about it. He didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But you talking behind the receiver, behind your quarterback, screaming on them, yelling on them, and doing all that, like I said, they have historical results. Ask Donovan McNabb, right? Ask Donovan McNabb what that's like. It don't work. Jalen Hurts is following in the same footsteps. Been there already and lost. And don't look like they're going back no time soon. It just don't. And then you got Dak down there. I mean, come on. Be for real. Getting knocked out by Green Bay last year wasn't enough. Like all the pressure that's down there. It's pressure down there to play in Dallas right now. Your owners all hanging around, looking and watching. It's pressure to win down there. But I couldn't wait to do this because, like I said, you need to hear it. You need to hear it. The last thing you need to be doing is screaming on Dak Prescott on national television when this is supposed to be the year that y'all make at least a NFC championship. You were in the playoffs last year. You're in the playoffs last year. So why would you want to be coming out and adding all the sideshow stuff on a season where you're supposed to be accomplishing the ultimate goal? Nah, I'm looking for a general down there, man. It needs to be a leader to step up. I don't know who it is. I don't know. It got to be one in that locker room somewhere. It got to be a general around there that can handle things down there accordingly when people get out of pocket. When people get out of pocket. And I'm not talking about no physical violence, but I'm talking about somebody stern enough to say, hey, listen, this is not what we do here. Every team needs one. Every team needs one, man. No matter what nobody says, every team needs one. And I don't think anybody should be talking to the quarterback like that during a game. To me, the quarterback is just like he's emotionally like the kicker. He's emotionally like the kicker to me, the field goal kicker. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to disturb him. I don't want to make him cry. I don't really want to make him mad. I want to build him up so he can focus on his job that he's supposed to be doing. That's what I want to do. I want to build him up so he can focus on his job that we trying to do and trying to win this game out here and get us ultimately to the Super Bowl. Now, if I can't do that, then I just need to be quiet. How you making anybody better by doing what you did? I guarantee you, man, I saw those other guys like looking around and like watching you. You know what I mean? I can't tell you what they were thinking, but I could tell you this. If they see weakness in their quarterback, they're not gonna have no confidence in them, man. They're not gonna have no confidence in them. If they see weakness in that guy like that, they're not gonna. No, why would you want to follow a guy like that? You're not following him nowhere. Where's he going? Where's he going? He just folded. He just folded in front of everybody else. So why would I want to follow somebody like that? No, you want to follow somebody. You want a leader, man. You want a leader, and every coach loves to have one of them on the team. If you call a team meeting, who's stepping up? Who's stepping up in the team meeting? Who's going to do it? Who's going to take the bull by the horns, call a team meeting, and everybody get it together? See, it's just not, you know what I mean? It just don't make sense, man. Like I said, it don't make sense. You know, from the outside looking in, like I said, it looks bad. It doesn't end up to where old Doug is here or Tom or Peyton. Like I said, you don't see it. You'd be hard pressed to go back and find some footage of them getting snapped on by any one of them offensive players or defensive player. Like, you just didn't see it. I may have seen like a little spat between the coaches and stuff, but you know, like a coach saying something to one of the players or something like that, but you didn't like see that. You didn't really see that, man. It just wasn't. I mean, not for them guys. Like, I don't even remember ever seeing like saying, man, that receiver Marvin Harrison, man, he was so disrespectful to Peyton Manning. Like, I don't even know if Marvin Harrison even talked. Like, he didn't even really talk, man. That dude talked with it. Man, look. That's somebody you need to watch. Marvin Harrison couldn't be guarded, man. Marvin Harrison could not be guarded. And still, in my mind, that he's probably the best route runner I've ever seen. He's the best route runner I have ever seen. Marvin Harrison, man. You know what I mean? Like, look, I see his son out there now, but listen, man. Junior ain't Marvin Harrison, man. He gonna be good, but Marvin Harrison was an absolute terror. He could get what he wants when he wants. He could get what he wants when he wanted. Whenever he wanted, he can go and get it. Short, long, he was cutting you up. He was cutting you up. And that's what you know what I mean? If I had to say that CeeDee Lamb was like anybody, he would remind me of almost like a Marvin Harrison. The difference is that Marvin Harrison was way more polished. Marvin Harrison was way more. He could situation football, he could get what he wanted, man. off the line of scrimmage. You can't jam them. You better not play off of them. So how do you even play somebody like that? How do you guard somebody like that? It's incredible. He was just an incredible talent, man. And then he was fast. So he's an incredible, incredible talent. But I don't think I ever seen him have a bad word towards Peyton, man. Not ever. Nor did I see Reggie Wayne. I just don't remember seeing it. If it happened, I don't remember it. I don't remember it at all. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. So when I see this and I see you treating Dak like that, man, you're either doing it for attention. You can't be that angry. And if you are that angry, you can't just take it out on one player. It's a team sport. So how could you do that? You can't take it out on one guy. You know what I mean? Dak didn't put 38 points up. He didn't put 38 points up for the Ravens. He didn't do it. You know, as I'm sitting here right now, Washington just beat Cincinnati, right? And Jaden Daniels is being interviewed, and Doug Williams is right behind him. See, this is what I'm talking about. It was meant for me to tell this story. Here I am sitting here talking about Doug Williams, and there he is. He pops up on the screen right behind Jaden Daniels being interviewed after Monday Night Football in a huge win over the Cincinnati Bengals. I love it. Because Doug Williams just popped right into the screen. Because Doug Williams has the respect. He had the respect. His receivers respect him. And let me tell you something. They balled out for him. Gary Clark, Ricky Sanders, and Art Monk was absolute monsters. Absolute monsters. And Doug Williams took advantage of it and would tear your defense apart. And guess what? Doug Williams wasn't a big scrambler. The thing about him back then is he had to prove that he could be a quarterback. Not no RPO. He was in a pro style offense. Not no pro style. He was not in no RPO. He was not an RPO guy, man. Could he take off a little bit here and there? Doug Williams wasn't the fastest guy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Doug Williams was not fast like that. So Doug Williams did it from the pocket, man. I want to put that out there. He made sure that he stayed in that pocket to get that ball to the receivers. He had some great receivers, man. He was getting them boys that rock. He was slinging that thing around the yard. So I'm just saying, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to see it, man. I think that CeeDee, you're totally wrong. I think you were out of pocket. I think it was inappropriate for you to do that. You should publicly apologize to that man. You should publicly apologize to Dak for doing that. You know what I mean? Because he ain't doing it to you. Because technically, that's what the quarterbacks are supposed to do. They're supposed to scream on a receiver if you ain't there on time. But apparently, it's you running the routes, and he got to have a ball there on time. That's apparently what's going on. You know what I mean? Nah, man, you owe that man a public apology. Don't nobody care about what's going on in the public, right? And I'm pretty sure those Cowboy fans don't want to see that. The last thing they want to see is their point scorers in turmoil. They don't want to see it. you know, and especially on national games, man, because it don't look good. There's nothing good can come out of that except hurt feelings, personal beef, and losing seasons. That's what's coming out of that. And how do I know? Because I came here tonight with some proof. History shows it. Historically, teams like that don't win, man. Teams like that don't win. If the receiver is beefing with the quarterback, historically it shows that it don't win. The ones that win are the ones that have a good rapport with their receivers, tight ends, and everybody else. And ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the clock has struck 0, and that's going to conclude this show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And leave your comments down below, because I want to hear what you guys really think about this situation with CeeDee Lamb screaming on Dak Prescott and any other quarterback for that matter. And do you think it's appropriate? Is it appropriate behavior for the receiver to be on national television screaming at his quarterback? Let me know. I look forward to hearing from y'all. I'll see you later. Have a good night.